All right, so we tried something a little bit different this year, and we took the jazz band over to the elementary school for our recruiting concert, and the kids loved it. And after we played Alligator Alley, I asked them, has anybody ever eaten alligator before? And some boy in the audience said, yeah, it tastes like chicken. Right on cue, because our next song is Tastes Like Chicken. Okay, we're going to feature our Barry sax player right now on a song called Groanin', and I think the name probably is self-explanatory once you hear the song. Carter Seeger is on Barry sax. One more time for Carter. Great job. All right, we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to play one of my all-time favorite jazz band tunes. It's an old Henry Mancini piece. It's called Dreamsville. All right, for our last song with the jazz band, we're going to play a song that hopefully you don't have to say to these guys behind me too often, but I'm sure that they haven't outgrown this yet. Go to your room. keep in mind, this was a brand new class this year, and they've only been playing together as a group since August, and that last piece we played shows a lot of growth in this jazz band. So another round of applause. They did a great job. Take a short break here. We have to reset the stage for concert band. So concert band people come up and do what you're supposed to do and give us about 5 or 10 minutes. Testing one, there we go. We were a little bit later coming out here because I have to tell you, we take a break during band every day. We have full band day. We take a 5-minute break. Sometimes that 5 minutes turns into 10 minutes. And I tell you, the coolest part about this job, and the reason we're a little bit later coming out, is watching these kids interact with each other and sit and talk. And you know what? No cell phones. It's great. It's great. So sometimes those 5-minute breaks turn into 10. All right, so we're gonna, in between each one of these songs, we're gonna have some awards that we're gonna hand out. It's that time of the year. So the first awards that we're gonna hand out are our band letters. And these are presented to students who have been in high school band for 2 years. And I'll read their names off, and if you all could come and stand up here, and then I'll hand you each a letter, okay? In order of sections, Savannah Davis, Samantha Gunter, Abigail Melchek, Alexa Mojica, Bailey Rojas, Seth Weaver, Vivian Mundell, Madison Minto, Oscar Flores, Sean Jenkins, Evan Westbury, Cassie Balzer, Gavin Buller, Sean Clark, Cole Fergie, Adam Gill, Luke Kubiak, LJ Somerville, Aiden Whitaker, Tyler Adams, and Holly Westbury. 21 sophomores that have stuck with the program this long, and hopefully they stick with it another 2 years, because this is a really strong group, and whoever takes over, Mr. Lee, is going to be really happy to have these guys. So one more round of applause, and I'm going to hand them their letters. So I was told by one of my students that every concert that I've done, I say at least one of their songs is, this is their favorite song. Well, this is my favorite song, all right? This goes back to before Russia was the USSR, and they used to write music for church. And once it became the USSR, there were no more sacred music, or was no more sacred music written for churches. So Chesnikov, who wrote this piece, never actually got to hear it performed in church, because right after he got done writing it, the Soviet Union took over, and there was no more music in churches. So this song kind of tells a story of how rough the Russian life was back then. Very poor, not a real rich country, and you can hear the sadness in the song. So, not sure why it's my favorite, but it is. So, Salvation is created by Chesnikov. As I'm sure most of you are aware by now, that I am retiring at the end of the year. And when I came here 6 years ago, I came in as taking over for a medical leave. And at the end of that year, Dr. Kleefisch came to me and he said, would you be interested in staying on? Now, I was retired at the time, but I came back to help out, and I thought it was going to be a couple weeks. Then it turned into a couple months. And I told Dr. Kleefisch, I said, I will give you 5 years. And in 5 years, I will fix your band program. And I know that kind of sounds a little bit like an egotistical statement, but here's why I said that. Some of you in the audience may have had Jerry Fox as a band director. Some of you may have had John Schaefer as a band director. Some of you may have had John Shotliff as a band director, who I consider to be the band guru in Indiana at the time. He was one of the greatest. And some of you may have had Rick Cheek as a band director. And the reason I told Dr. Kleefisch that I thought I could fix the band program is because I saw the history here. And I knew that the kids that were coming up from middle school, I knew that we had some quality kids. And all of these kids back here were those middle school kids that were coming up at that time. As you look at the stage right now, at this time 6 years ago, the stage was half as full. So this is a tribute to the program and the school and the community, and to you parents to continue to support the band program. I told that the kids that I would be involved in the selection of my replacement, and I'm happy to announce, and you probably already know, but my student teacher from the fall from Valparaiso University and Lake Central High School has been hired as the replacement for me, starting actually in June for the 4th of July parade. So David Lee, he's sitting right up here in front. He came to hear the kids play tonight. So I'm really excited to see where he takes the program, because I know he's going to do a great job. When you looked at your program, you may have wondered why I put an ISMA score sheet in your program tonight. There's a couple of things that I want to point out that I've heard recently, and I've heard over 44 years of teaching. Band's an easy A. Or I've heard that there are, these guys down here in front are laughing. These guys were in my band at Knox back in the 1980s, and they'll tell you that they can't count how many push-ups they had to do. But and people will say, well, there are no standards affiliated with band because we don't have an iLearn test or anything like that for music, which I think is a shame, but there isn't. So, but what you don't understand, or what a lot of people don't understand, is what these kids are doing is when you put a piece of music in front of them, they have to look at that music. They have to decide what that black dot means. They have to decide what note it is, what fingerings to use, how to form their embouchure, how loud to play it, how many counts it gets. And by the time they figure all this stuff out, the rest of the band's at the end of the song. So these kids are, what they're doing it like this. And I don't think they get enough credit for how fast they have to think and make the sounds that they're making on these instruments. It's really incredible. So when somebody says band's an easy A, well, we're going to show you an example, all right? So we're going to play a short piece of what, like a 4-measure phrase of what we just played in Salvation is Created. And the first time we play it, we're going to play, it's going to be 99.9%. It's never perfect, okay? And the kids will tell you, I never ask them to be perfect, because if I do, they'll fail every time. Nobody's perfect, all right? So they're going to play it first time through 99.9% correct. And then we're going to play it again, and I told each student they can make one mistake. All right, now in this section that we're playing, there's about 1,000 notes, okay? The first time we play it, you're gonna hear it correct. The second time we hear it, you're gonna hear it 1,000 notes with 67 mistakes. And I want you to hear the difference in almost perfect and what they're gonna play. All right, here we go. 99.9%. Now we're going to play again, and each student's going to make one mistake. Here we go. Now, if you've done the math, that is 93% accurate. In 93% in most classes other than band is an A. So think about it. When people say the band's an easy A, look at how hard these kids have to work to make that sound. All right? And the other thing is, I realize that we're not teaching these kids to be professional musicians. There may be a couple of people that go into music and teach music, but that's not the point. The point is, when they go out into their career, I don't care if they're going to be an auto mechanic, a pharmacist, a doctor, a lawyer, it doesn't matter what they're going to be. If they always strive to do everything 99.9% correct, they're going to be good at whatever they do. The last thing you want is your auto mechanic to put brakes on your car and go, well, yeah, I think it's going to stop. Let me know when you get to the next stop sign, and if it doesn't stop, come back. You know? So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to create an atmosphere where kids always work to do the best that they can, all right? And they're doing it as a group. And I hate group projects, but these guys are working together great and making a great sound. So here's the first two songs that we played. Were our ISMA songs. And those of you that came out to hear the kids at KB, thank you. We had a great audience, and the judges commented on what a nice crowd we had. So if you came out to hear the kids, thank you for your support. The first two songs we played were part of that. The next song that we're going to play was also a part of what we played for the judges at Kankakee Valley for the ISMA contest. So this is the award that they got. It's gold rating, and this is our iLearn, our iStep, our SAT, our ACT. You call it whatever you want. The standards that you see in your program, the 9 things that the kids have to do to win this award, we got an A. So thank you very much. And this is why any kid that wants to take band, jazz band, choir, art classes, those classes should be the first thing that's put on their schedule, and work everything else around it, because if those things aren't on the kid's schedule that they want to do this, they're missing out on a lot of learning. So band, choir, art, jazz band, those things need to be on the schedule. So with the new schedule change next year, we need to do some looking and see how we can get this accomplished. So thank you for your support. Appreciate it. And we're going to conclude, well, actually we have 2 more songs, but we're going to play our next ISMA song, Citadel. It's a march. Okay, we have several awards to present this evening. The first award, first of all, let me say that all these awards are based on musicianship, attendance, leadership, and doing something extra like solo and ensemble contest or jazz band or 4th of July parade, things like that, okay? So the first award is the Director's Award, and this goes to the freshmen, and this year it goes to Carlos Flores. The next award is for the sophomore, and this is the Patrick Gilmore Award. And this year I couldn't decide between two people, so I'm actually going to give two awards this year. Both of them participated in solo and ensemble contests. The one has gotten a gold for like 4 years in a row, ever since he was in middle school. And the other one got a perfect score this year on her flute solo. So I'd like to invite Seth Weaver and Alexa Mojica up for their awards. The next award is the Leonard Bernstein Award, and it goes to the outstanding junior. And again, I could not decide between two of these outstanding young men, great musicians. They both took solos to state this year, and I think for one of them, I think this is the third year in a row that he's gotten a gold rating at the state solo and ensemble contest. And the other one took two solos this year to state contest, which is pretty unusual. So I'd like to ask Caleb Langley and Robert Somerville to come forward. Okay, a couple more. This is the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award, and from our records, it looks like this hasn't been awarded since 1994. Now that could be incorrect, but according to the plaque, that's the last date on the plaque that has been awarded. This year, you heard him play solo a little bit earlier, and this year's Louis Armstrong Jazz Award goes to Carter Seegers. And our final award is the Louis Armstrong Award, and this goes to an outstanding senior. And I'm going to tell you a little story about this person. When they started out in band, they started out on oboe, and then got a flute, and then wanted to march in the 4th of July parade and played clarinet, and then came to high school and I had 4 oboe players, and I asked her to play bassoon, and she plays the bassoon now. And then she joined jazz band this year, and I said, hey, I need a trombone. Would you learn how to play the trombone? So she really ought to be going into music, but she's not. But she plays all of those instruments, and she plays them well, and this is a well-deserved honor for Haley Perkins. right, before we play our last song, we're going to have all the seniors come up, and we recognized them at the last basketball game, and the boosters gave them a real nice gift package, but we'd like to recognize them one more time. They've stuck with the program all the way through 3 years of middle school, 4 years of high school, and so if the following people just come up and make a line over here, Faith Badgley, Grayson Cruz, Olivia Muskalik, Haley Perkins, Serenity Campbell, Chloe Thompson, Kira McNeely, Axiel Rodriguez, and Thomas Woods. Before we play our last song, I think we have a matter of business to take care of, the 50-50 raffle.
You made my job extremely easy because we wanted to see you
Okay, this is for $172. All right, 2, 2, 3, 7, 4, 6. Thank you. All right, one last time for the seniors and me. Here's the Hebron School Song.